All right, welcome everybody. We are live here. Just gonna get things set up over on X. Doo-doo-doo. I didn't put out a tweet earlier mentioning this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and quote tweet this real quick. Hey, the Night Owl Writers Room is live. Okay, join me on X, YouTube, or Rumble, and post. Okay, so as I mentioned yesterday, I have hired a fictional literary agent. He signed an exclusive lifetime deal with him, and he has been pestering me for 4,000 words a day of new fiction, which I did not write again today. So he upped the ante to 5,000 words and promises to increase it even further if I don't get writing. So I don't know if he's starting to regret signing me and then firing all of his other clients. But, I'm gonna have to get some writing done. So I do have, some stuff to write, but it's all rewriting. I don't have any new stuff to write unless I start cranking out a book, but I've got 2 books to finish, so we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. I mean, I've got a new story every week, but that's only 3 to 4K a week instead of a day. So maybe I can write, like, a backlog of stories. If I do a story a day, that might satisfy him. We'll see. Um, but I'm oddly afraid of him. It's strange. It's like he's supposed to be working for me, but I feel like I'm working for him. Do you guys ever feel that way about your agent? Even just one of the things I noticed about our relationship, but maybe a common thing. I don't know. Maybe just me. All right. So tonight, as promised in the subject, I am going to finish formatting my 5.25 by 8-inch paperback here. Let me see if I can do that over here. Plus, plus. There you go. You can see that better? There we go. So you can see here I've got my trim size, 5 1/4 by 8. And then so these are all the options on the KDP. So let's talk about this a little bit. If you guys have not done the self-publishing thing on KDP, at least the paperback, maybe you've done an ebook, but you haven't had the guts to try the paperback yet. Here's part of the process. So I have the prepared document and I've got the cover ready to go. As I'm getting ready to do my next anthology, I'll take you through all the steps leading up to that, from Scrivener all the way through. If you're interested, there is an article I wrote a couple of years ago, called "From Scrivener to KDP," paperback edition, where I sort of show you how to properly compile your document in Scrivener to send it to Word, and then have Word do the final formatting in Word to sort of like clean things up, make sure that the pages are the same length and stuff like that. So it's an old article. I need to update that. I'm thinking about actually expanding it into a book, having a nonfiction book out there that people can dip into. So, but that's not fiction. So Arthur will not be happy with that if I take time to do that. Yeah, I've got some other ideas for books too, nonfiction that I need to do. But man, working is a bitch. All right. So here I am. I've got the Charlatan's Conundrum. I for this, I'm just doing this to sort of like format the book. This is not going to be my final listing here. In fact, I send it to my publisher, Nifty Press, and they are going to actually post it on Amazon for me on KDP. But I have sort of like a scratch copy that I'm using right here to get this going. All right, so I've got this free KDP. I got the free ISBN. Uh, I used to select the white paper. I like the white paper on the books, but everybody says that the cream is better for fiction. And it has a different feel to it too. It's less slick. It's kind of like um, a more papery feel, if that makes any sense. Feels like old paperbacks, which, I kinda like. And then, the trim size, of course, the 5 and a quarter by 8, no bleed, so that means I do not have any images or text that go all the way to the edge. Everything is gonna be within a defined set of margins, and my paperback, cover finish, I'm going with matte on this one, and now I need to upload the manuscript. So I have loaded it successfully before, but I made some small changes, so I'm gonna come back over here and go ahead and re-upload that again. So just so you're aware, so this is what it looks like in Word. If I zoom out here, you can sort of see all the pages. We were working on this the other night, and the other night I was going through and making it a 9.5 point font, but then I switched to 10, and I just got nervous about the 9.5 being too small. 10-point font is probably the smallest I'm willing to go. I do use 9 point in the headers and the footers, but, other than that, 10. And for the table of contents too, I use 9. So this is how it came out. It came out to about 311 total pages, and, I did a cute little thing here where at the end of it, I said, "Hey, if you enjoyed reading this book, please consider leaving a short review on Amazon, Goodreads, or Audible," and then I put the QR codes for each one there. So, hopefully, this is something I'm gonna start putting in all my books. Just the sort of call to action to do a review, that'd be kinda cool. And then a couple ads from my other books in there. Alright, so I've got this all set, and I'm gonna go ahead and do File, Save As, PDF. Now, the thing you wanna make sure of too when you're doing this is and the more options, this is Microsoft Word. Uh, when you're doing the Save As, you'll see this button here for Options, and you wanna make sure that PDF-A compliant is checked. This makes sure that you embed the fonts. So if you have special fonts, they'll be embedded with the document, and it'll look the way you want it to look instead of defaulting to other fonts or using default fonts. So make sure you do that when you're exporting from Word. Okay. And then, so that's asked me if I wanted to overwrite the one that was there. I said yes. And it's writing it. And then it's going to actually, mine is set to open the PDF once it's done so I can double check, make sure everything is okay. So let's see. There we go. So that's done, and now it's going to open the PDF. I use this program called UPDF. It was the cheapest one I could find where I could actually make editing and changes and stuff like that. Adobe has a subscription. I think this is a subscription too, but it was the cheapest one. It was like less than half the price of the others. And I figured, I'm going to be using the PDF export stuff all the time, so might as well invest in that. But man, it starts adding up. It's really dangerous how quickly this stuff starts adding up. All right, so I'm just looking here for any like missing pages. So I do have intentionally blank pages here, um, which is fine. And then the rest of the document here and so forth. So I've got that exported as a PDF. Let's come back here. And so I'm going to come over here to where I saved it, which is in here. And there it is. Charlatans Conundrum 5 by 8 PDF. And open that. It's actually 5 and a quarter by 8. Don't let that name fool you. But again, the reason it's 5 and a quarter by 8 is that it's closer to the aspect ratio of a 6 by 9. It's really, really very close. Okay, uploaded your manuscript. All right, good. So that's there. I've already uploaded the cover. And my cover I designed in a program called GIMP. So GIMP is like a free Photoshop. It's open source, cross-platform, all that kind of stuff. It's got a lot of great tools in it. It's good enough for me. You can do all the layers stuff and fonts and positioning things and everything like that. And what happens here is that you get a cover template from Amazon that shows you all the areas that you need to worry about, right? So there's actually a black line here that's kind of covered up. You see that black line? That is the actual size of the cover. But you give it an extra eighth of an inch on each edge for bleed. And again, bleed is so that when they print on the cover, um, and then they trim it, they can make sure that there's not going to be any white space. There's not going to be any spaces where there's not an image. So, and they're terrible at getting it straight. I mean, you would think they would be able to align it perfectly in the center with all the computers and stuff like that, but it gets pretty sloppy. And then the white area is the safe area. That is the spots where you can safely assume that it is going to be printed and not off the edge of the paper. Put my background up. You can see now where that is. And so I've got all my guides here to let me know where everything needs to be. And then we did. So I actually took the 6x9 version. Let me open that real quick. Uh, there it is. And I just scaled it down. Like I said, the aspect ratio is so close that I was able to just sort of take that and scale it down. Now I did swap out the image, the author image. You'll see here on this one here, I went with a closer picture. I just didn't like the way this looked, especially with these shadows here under the armpits and stuff like that. So I did that, but everything else is pretty much the same proportions. It's just an inch shorter, so less, a little bit more than 10% smaller. And then I used, made sure that everything fit. Exported this as a PDF as well, and imported it into KDP. So there it is. All right. Did I use AI tools? No, I did not. Which is a shame because I used to use AI images for the thumbnails for the podcast, and just had to stop doing it because I don't want to have to check that box. I don't think that's right. It's kind of weird. There's no like a little option here. It's just yes or no, and then your book gets flagged as AI, and it's just like ugh, I don't need to deal with that. All right, once that's done, I'm going to launch the previewer. So the previewer is going to take those files that I uploaded and compile them and process them and show me what it's going to look like. Here's the cover, right? So I can make sure that all my cover content is in the safe zone, right? Everything is there. And then I can go through it page by page and see how the content lines up within the safe margins of this. Now here, you can see that my right margin is a little bit bigger than my left, and that's intentional because I kind of have a bigger margin on the top and bottom. And so I'm going to print it out and see how it looks on the page, but I think it's going to be okay. If necessary, I'll bump it out to the outside edge a little bit more, but I think we're going to be okay there. So you can flip through this, see the front and back, make sure everything kind of looks right. There we go. There's my table of contents. That looks great. And then I come here. So now every story needs to be starting on the right-hand side. So on an odd page. So that one looks good. I'm just going to go through it page by page and make sure that my bottom margins and top margins look okay. And there we go. We got that. That looks good. Not crazy about that bottom margin, the space between here. See how the space between here looks like one line here? It looks like a line and a half or even two. I may redo that. We'll see. All right, so here's the next story. So this shows up on the odd page where I want it to be. Good. Keep going through, flipping through, odd page. So there's 26 stories. So it's going to take me a while to just verify that I didn't screw anything up here. And I just want to make sure that all of the stories start on the right-hand side and that there's nothing that looks really bad in terms of, a, margin that's really off the bottom or top of the page. There's a thing in Word called widows and orphans. And widows and orphans basically is a rule that if a sentence is split up so that it ends with one line on another page, it'll adjust the page break to not do that. You don't wanna do that for a book. For a book, you wanna have it top to bottom. You don't wanna have any pages that are different lengths. Alright, here we go. This looks good. Everything. So whenever I have a story that ends on an odd page, the next even page is blank. Howl, that's one of my favorites. Jade Dragon, draw me a picture. I wrote that one for an artist. I wanted to do the cover, but he bailed on me. Well, he didn't bail on me. I kind of like left him hanging, to be honest, and I've been trying to make it up to him and get his interest again, but no luck. Reset, that's a funny one. Snow Bully, this one's just plain weird. Sometimes they just go for the weird. Virtual reality is kind of a funny horror story, science fiction. The new guy, I like this one too. This one's very cool. This one's actually a little scary. It, I think it's okay to bring it up now, but it's about a guy who works as a bodyguard for a billionaire who's running for president, and a sniper takes a shot at him. Wrote this a couple of years ago, so it just freaked me out when that happened. I was just like, oh my gosh, should I take this story down? And I talked to some friends, some writer friends, and they listened to the story and said, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. All right. Death and Taxes, A Taking Tree. Good one. Alien Me. My tribute to the invasion of the body snatchers. Incarnadine Teacup. Gargoyles Bread. Tricked. Very funny story. And then the last one, Firefly. Okay. And the story ends on an odd page. There's my review thing, and there are my ads. Those look good too. So I get to see what they look like in black and white, which is nice. All right. So I'm going to exit the print previewer. And I'm going to go to the next step, save and continue. Oh, I have to approve my book. All right. So I have to actually go back. Let me go back to details. I don't want to release this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in a date in the future. And I thought I could do this before, but schedule my book's release. Okay. Publication. Schedule my book's release date. Enter the date. This is in pre-order. Learn more about scheduling a release. So I think you can only go a certain amount into the future here. Yeah, so I can go to December 19th. I have to remember to cancel the release later on. So I'm going to save and continue. All right. And I need to go back to the previewer here. If you guys have done this before, let me know. I'm kind of curious to see what your experience is on KDP. Okay, I'll approve it now. Don't want to publish this one though. I want it to go to Nifty. I don't think I used to have to do that before. I used to be able to do this without having to approve it. Okay. So there's the printing cost. So the printing cost on this is only $4.73, which is pretty good. Pretty good. It's really a good price. The problem comes when you actually sell it, right? So if you come here and if I set the sale price on this, so that 430.73 per book, right? Remember that. All territories, Amazon.com. Let's sell it for $19.99. And here you go. So I'm going to choose expanded distribution. And you see my royalty is only $3.26. They're taking in $20, cost 5, we'll say, to produce it, so that's $15 left over. 40% of $15 is that's more than 326, isn't it? 40% of $15. Let's think about that. So it's da, 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 so it's, yeah, it's like $6. So I don't know how they calculate this. Um, I say printing 473, right? Okay. Royalty on Amazon is 60%. So if you sell it on Amazon, you get 60%. So that's $7. That's not bad, $7.26. But is it really 60% of $15? So 60% of $15 is, well, it's close. Let's see here. 6 times 15 is, no. So that's 6 times 15 is $9. So they're taking more out of here than you expect. Regardless, um, previously I was selling my books for like 14.99, right? And here you can see the royalties like go down to like almost nothing, right? For expanded distribution, 26. For here, it's 4.26. So when I sell the book at a book fair or a comic con or something like that, I sell it for list 20, but I usually sell it on sale for $15 because hopefully it's part of a multi book deal. So I pay the 473 printing price plus shipping. Um, and in quantity, it comes out to a little bit more than $5 a book. But then I'm keeping almost $10 on every book instead of 426. So I'm more than doubling my royalty by selling them myself. And when I put them on my own store, depending on if I decide to charge shipping or not, I will be able to make a little bit more money as well. The other advantage of having selling them yourselves through your own store, buying some stock from Amazon and selling them, is that you get your customer information. You get their email. They get to join your email list, right? When you sell it to someone on Amazon, you have no idea who that person is. That person's information is not shared with you. You have no way of like saying, "Hey, you bought my first book. Why don't you check out my second book?" It's impossible. So, getting that kind of stuff going is where you want to be. All right. So, a request proof. This is what I want to do. So, save and continue. Requesting proof. Yeah, I guess I have to click on that s- uh, s- publish thing to make it actually go. All right, Amazon Marketplace is Amazon.com. I'm going to just order one copy and submit the proof request, confirm proof request. And then we'll check back my Amazon cart later on. We should see it in there. If I look right now, it won't be there. For Amazon. Yep, my cart is empty. But after a while, it'll show up there and I'll have it shipped to me and hopefully I'll get to see it in a few days. I'll show it to you guys. All right, so that's KDP. The next step here is to do the ebook. So, for that, Amazon gives you a nice little program called Kindle Creator. Kindle Create. Kindle Create. Let's fire that up here. Where to go? Kindle Create. Okay. Where are you, Kindle Create? Come on, show yourself. Launching. There it is. Okay. I don't know if you can see that very well. Let me try to zoom in here. There we go. Kindle Create. Okay. So, actually, I did do a Kindle version of this. Oh, I did. I already did this. I did this from the 6 by 9. Okay, cool. Well, let me show you the process anyway. Um, let's see here. Create new. Open existing or choose. All right, so I get to choose here. So, when you're doing this, you're going to choose between these three different formats. Reflowable, which is what fiction is going to do if you have comics and print replica and stuff like that. So I'm going to choose the reflowable. Book title, I'm just going to call this one demo. Oops. So you guys can see what's going on here. Let me take this off. There we go. Demo, author name is me. Publisher is Night Owl Writers Room. All right. So then I choose a doc file. So it imports it from Word, which is interesting. So you would think that it would be something more neutral than that, but it's Word. So I'm going to import the 5 by 8 just to show you what this looks like here. And it doesn't matter what the size of the margins of your Word document are. It's going to completely ignore all that stuff. And now it's importing everything here. And so it's basically parsing your Word document to see what you got. And it's going to make a lot of mistakes, especially if you have like a lot of front matter, back matter, all that kind of stuff. But we'll see what we get here. All right, here we go. Continue. Kindle Create will start by automatically finding and applying potential chapter title elements. Okay, let's do that. Get started. So now it's scanning to find chapter titles to build a table of contents. And looks like that's working fine. All right, so here we go. So here is like the first page. So this part it usually screws up. Like this is part of the title page too, right? So what I usually will do is I'll just sort of like, okay, let me delete that and bring this up here. And then let me go ahead and make some changes over here. So formatting, and I can set this to be centered. There we go. All right, that looks good. And then over here is going to be uh, my copyright page. So the copyright page is interesting in that there's a lot of stuff in there, but I can also add a copyright page to this. So this one here, this is the title page. I'm going to convert this to front matter, standard page front matter, and that'll put in the front matter part here. And then here in the front matter, I'm going to go ahead and do a copyright page. Copyright owner is Rich Hosick. Your publication is 2024. And then here's this text here. I gotta actually copy that here. Let's come over here. So this is all the stuff I want in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab that. Let me do this. Sherman Oaks, California. More. Okay. Oh, this should be in the title page. Let me do that right. Get off of there. Then the title page underneath here. Make this smaller. Paragraph. See if it can come up then. There we go. All right, so then this is going to be centered. Formatting. Centered. Can I move this down a little bit? Yeah, you really can't position things too, which is kind of strange. So it's not like a word processor here. That you just gotta throw things in here, and that's good enough for right now. All right, so visit bedtime. So here's my copyright page copy. I'm going to take this and copy this. I'm actually going to cut it so that it's not there, and then I'm going to delete that section. Add the copyright page. Rich Hosick, 2024. I'll paste in my text from here. Okay, I don't need the copyright 2024 here because that will be in there already. All right, create page. Let's see what we get. Copyright, da 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 da, all rights reserved. Okay, it looks okay. Edit page. Now you put some spaces in here. Bump that down. Okay, update page. There we go. That's better. Okay. All right. So I've got my title page. I'm going to drag this down here. Title page and then copyright page. Okay, good. Next, I've got, oh, this is part of the copyright page. Oops. Oh, I don't need the ISBN. I don't need that. I can get rid of that. All right, here's the dedication. So let me grab that and put that into the dedication page. So I'm going to come up here and create a dedication. Paste that in there. Create page. Let me edit that. A couple of lines in between there. Date page. There we go. Okay, good. Dedication. And then what else we got here? Oh, the also buy. So there's a lot of also buy stuff here. Let me see if I can get this organized a little bit better. Okay, good. So let's grab this text, copy that, and then we're going to create an also buy section up here. Actually, they put the also buy at the end, which is kind of strange. Let me see if we can find it in the end matter here, back matter. Books by this author. Oh, I do it books by book. Okay, never mind. You know what I'm going to do? Cancel that. I'm just going to come up here and create a blank page. Standard page. Right down here. Paste this in here, also by Rich Hosick. So I can do certain things here, like change the subheading there. There we go. That looks better. The Dead Kids Club. So this is like, should be font paragraph. No. Uh, why is this different? So this is it just because it's italics? 24, and that's no 14. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and bump that up to 14. Change it to italics because book titles are italics. And then this one's going to have a little space here. Rainy Day Investigations, Paranormal Mysteries. Okay, and then those titles, Near Death Afterlife Farsight. And then listen to the bedtime stories for listen to make this bigger elements. Let's do a subheading for that. No, I don't want to do that. I'll make that a regular paragraph. Oh wow. I'm like, there we go, that's better. And so then we'll center this stuff. Podcast apps and Audible. Take this back down to 12. Okay. Fiction podcast. All right, so that's good. So yeah, I go through and I do all these things here. And then I'm going to add one more thing here, which is going to be a standard page. And that is going to be my little introduction. Where did it go? Interesting. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, so there's that. Also by oh, here it is. Can't sleep. Okay, so this I'm going to convert to standard page front matter. Okay, that looks good. That's fine. And then this I'm going to go ahead and delete since I already did that up here. Delete section. Table of contents I'm going to keep. So that has two parts there. All the stories, and those are hyperlinks. That'll take me to that. And then this is just, oops, the image. Why do I have a dot there? Okay, good. So for images, you can tell it to do full and screenshot of a book description. Okay, graphic for bedtime stories for insomniacs. Visit https bedtimestories.studio. Okay. All right. So that'll show up as a full page there. Okay, good. So that should be on front matter too, right? Is it all front matter? Yes. Okay. So table of contents comes, and then I've got the image for each chapter here, each book, right? And so I'm just gonna go ahead and make it full, and then use the man doing a card trick. Just put a little explanation in there, and or I could exclude it from the screen reader. Let's just do that; it'll be faster. And then here's the story. So now, what I've noticed here is that it's the text is kind of close to my title here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that a little bit here. So this is a chapter title. If I come to the formatting though, I should be able to cascade formatting changes for other elements. Yes, that's what I want to do. Yes, save, please. Gotta save this here. Let's do this. I'm going to do a new folder here for ebook demo. So I can put it in here and not worry about this. There we go. And then there's a way that here we go. I can change the spacing here. So we've got before and after. So on the after, I'm going to bump it up a little bit here. So here's this. Okay. And then the before I'm going to take down. There we go. 0. And then I'm going to cascade formatting changes for all elements. So what that means is that the next story will have the same spacing on everything. And then here's this. I'll make it full with no reader. And I'll just go through and do that through the whole thing, right? And then when I get to the end, then I've got this stuff here. I'm going to go ahead and move this to the back matter, convert to standard back matter, image, convert to standard back matter, and then image, convert to standard back matter. All right, so I've got the content of the book separated from the front matter and the back matter, and then we can preview it. So this is what it looks like on a Kindle. Oh, here it is. I moved it over here. Let me come back to the beginning. So there it is. So this is what it looks like on the Kindle. You can page through it, see how it looks. Looks good. Did I get the hyperlink in there? Yep. There's that. The table of contents. First picture, and then the story. And so basically that's all there is to it, really. I'm going to go ahead and close out of this, and then close this. Close project. Sure, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to use it. I don't know how to get rid of that though. So here, let's see what we got. So this is, I'll select this one and open an existing file. So this is the one that I did before, right? Wait a minute. Can't I? Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay. So there it is. So this is here. This is the version I did before. There's that, all that stuff, contents, image, and so forth. So this is the same version here I did, and I did, then when I was done with it, I did an export, right? And so the export gives you, let's say, all right, no, a new version is ready. I'll do that next time, maybe later on the feedback. But now what I'll be able to do is on my KDP, you come here and let's go back to the bookshelf. And here's the book. So this is the one I was doing as this is the test for the 5x8. This is the 6x8. You can see you can create a Kindle ebook. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on that and everything gets imported over there. I don't need to change anything there. I own the copyright, sexually explicit, no. Age ranges, I usually go like 13 up. There's just some material in here that is somewhat adult, but nothing too bad. Amazon.com, choose categories. This is always the hardest part. But what I found is that I've got a lot of science fiction and fantasy. Then you pick a subcategory here. Pick fantasy, and I'm going to do anthologies and short stories. Okay. Then add another category. Same thing, science fiction and fantasy, but this time I'm going to science fiction. And then anthologies and short stories. Another category, and usually there's mysteries and thrillers. There we go. And so I'm going to pick mystery. And again, I'm going to pick the anthologies, collections and anthologies. Okay. Save category. So you can pick 3 categories for it to be listed under. So hopefully this will get some things. And then there's the keywords there. I'm ready to release my book now, make my Kindle available for pre-order and so forth. I'm going to save as draft. And you can't, the content. Now we're going to do content. Here we go. So upload your manuscript. So I'm going to upload so the manuscript for this is going to be a special file that got uh, generated here when I did the ebook, and it is the KPF file. And the KPF file is specifically for Kindle. So I upload that here. And then you can add the DRM here. You know what? I'm not even going to add DRM to this anthology. Um, the stories are available for free everywhere. It doesn't make any sense for me to like lock it down here because people can just steal it from someplace else. All right, cover. I'm going to upload the cover here. So I have a JPEG or TIFF here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. So I previously had done this for the book funnel version of this. So if I come to the cover, I should see the ebook version. There it is. And so that's it basically, right? When you export your book, you get those ebook, you get the EPUB and the KPF versions. The EPUB you can send to BookFunnel or anybody else who takes ebooks, and then so forth. Did you use this? No. Launch the previewer. Oh, it may take a couple minutes. Okay. Let's see if my proof is ready. My cart. My cart is still empty. Okay, well, anyway, that's that, right? And I can go ahead and preview it and stuff like that. Come back to my bookshelf, save and continue. So now I've got a Kindle ebook. Here it is. I moved it up. Kindle ebook and a paperback. So Kindle ebook actions, paperback actions, and so forth. So this one is already live, right? But when I put the 5 by 8 one up on my publisher's site, I will take this one down. I made it live so I could order author's copies. And what I'm hoping is that when he puts, I might give him the ebook first. Once he's got the ebook up, then I'll take this down and then I'll give him the 5 by 8. And there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and send those ebook files to him so he can get that going there. I'll give him all the information on categories and everything. And we'll get that going. All right. That is that. Where are we at? 11:46. Oh, how about that? So not too bad. Not too bad. So the let's go to the book funnel. Let's do that real quick. Oh, let's you know what? Let's do this while I'm here. I have um let's see here. I did the remastering of um Time Cop, right? Time Cop Paradox, which is right here. 13 Time Cop Paradox Remastered. There it is. Oh, why does it have an X next to it? That's not good. Is it set to delete it? I hope not. Okay, there's my remastered version of it. Okay, it came out 1945, 1946. So there we go. So I've got this here, and what I want to do is replace that chapter in my audiobook on BookFunnel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'm going to do a save as here because I'm a little worried. I think maybe it's X because I suspended my cloud syncing. That may be it. But I'm kind of nervous about that. I'm going to do a save project as remastered backup. Okay. Just in case. I'm just a little worried about that. Disk space is practically free. And I'm going to go ahead and save it again. Save project as. And here I'm going to take it back up to the book, the audiobook. And here I've got all the chapters for the audiobook, right? So where is it? Time Cop Paradox. Go ahead and replace that one. Save. Does not save. Okay, because you can't override to that. Okay. Export audio. I don't want to export audio. Why am I doing that? Cancel that. File. Save project as. Okay, audiobook. Time Cop Paradox, and I'll do Time Cop Paradox dot remastered. So I understand. Okay, there we go. So now this is going to create in another copy of my book here. But what I'm going to do here is for the audiobook, I don't need the theme song. And I don't need the last part of the introduction. I don't need the beginning introduction either, right? So if I look here, I can see that I've got this part here that is everyone loves a good time travel story. We even have a fondness for the bad ones. There's something about the idea of being able to travel backwards and forwards through time that is appealing. But so that was underneath the theme. So I'm going to go ahead and just delete this segment here. Actually, I'm not going to delete it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to replace it with silence so that I don't shift anything. So I'm going to generate silence, generate. There we go. Because what I want to do is I want to start with the chime. So I'll go ahead and take that over and press Control Shift K, and that selects all the tracks. I'm going to delete the same amount of time from every track, and there we go. So now it's going to start off with the chime. Oops. So let me go back. I can't. Let me do it this way here. I take it back. I can't do this. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go back. So what I said earlier, I'm not going to go to silence because I forgot about this. Okay, so what I'm doing is I can find the space where the chime starts here, and then highlight everything else, delete that. So now when the time cop paradox. As usual, I was the first one to arrive at work. Okay, there we go. So that's all ready to go. I'm going to check the end of the book, under the story now. So we get to the end. Van Dam. And then I always like to leave like about 2 seconds after the end here. So one, it's about it's close enough. Maybe right about here. So there's like a 2 second gap between books, right? Or between stories. So I'm going to go ahead and delete then the end. So the end here, this is the thank you for listening to that part, right? I don't need that here for the audiobook. All right. So now I've got the whole thing all set up. This is um, the ebook version of this. So it doesn't have the theme song. It doesn't have the opening introduction. It just has the chime and the title. And that's just an artistic thing because I basically I use the theme. The theme is in the audiobook. So I just play it once and then the rest of it we go like that. And I don't do excuse me. I don't do the introductory part for the ebook. Um because I want the podcast to have something that the other formats don't. That introduction is unique. It's only on the podcast. Little value add there, maybe. I don't know. All right. So I've got this here. I've saved it. Now I'm going to do my export audio. And I'm going to send it to, let's see, your bedtime stories, volume 1, audiobook, MP3s. And then there's chapter 11 right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to overwrite that, save it. And that's in stereo. It's 192. Everything looks good there. Export. Do you want to overwrite that? Yes. I want to replace that. So that's going to replace that. So now I'm going to come over to check my shopping cart real quick here. Nope, still nothing there, right? All right. I was hoping it would show up before we left tonight, but maybe not. All right, bookfunnel.com. Author login, books. So here it is, A Charlatan's Conundrum audiobook. And I'm going to go ahead and edit the chapters. And basically here on 11, I'm going to trash it. All right, time cop paradox, trash that. And then I'm going to add the one that I want. Come back here. Audiobook, MP3, 11, time cop paradox. Okay, so it's going to bring it up here into my book. It's going to be custom. Time cop paradox. There we go. And then I click on submit files for processing. All right, so it's going to go ahead and process those. Yes, I just made the one change. As I go through it and I update it here, I'm going to update the chapters in here as well. Um, Once I have all the stories remastered that I wanna remaster, then I will go add it to ACX, but I need to have the ebook on Amazon before I do that anyway, so, hopefully I'll get that set up, so I'm gonna send that to, Arnold this weekend and get him to get that up there. Alright, so that's doing that, and then here on the ebooks, you can see here is the Charlatane's Conundrum, and there's the cover that I did before, and I uploaded the content earlier, the book files, and uploaded the EPUB file in that case, right? So let's come back over here. Doo-doo-doo. So on the ebook, when I export it to this ebook folder. And here in the EPUB, there is the EPUB format. Now, if I double click on this right now, it'll open it in my EPUB reader on my computer if I have one. Um, I think I do. Let me see what I have. See what opens up here. There we go. Ebook viewer. So you'll notice though that this does not include the title page, right? So the regular EPUB does not include a title page. So if you were to just send that to somebody, they would see it and they would read it and, you know, okay, great. But they wouldn't have the title page attached to it. I think there is a way to attach the title page to the EPUB. It's interesting. The EPUB format is really just a web page. Um, if you look at it, it's actually a zip folder that has. Let me go ahead and copy this. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Copy here, and I'm going to change the extension to zip. Yes, I do want to change it. I'm going to dive into the zip, and there we go. So here is the meta information for the book. You can see some texts and containers and stuff. And then over here are the file folders, and there's some CSS. If you're familiar with web pages, you know what this is. CSS is cascading style sheets. Here's the images. Here's my XHTML, uh, this nav thing here. And so all of this is basically the web pages for the book. And so each chapter has its own web page, each segment here, and it basically just makes a website out of your book. And the beauty of the brilliance of that is that one, it's very compact, and two, that's why it's so reflowable. Web pages, as you know, you can watch on a big screen, a small screen, your phone, tablet, whatever it is, and it looks okay. So basically, we use some basic CSS styling to make sure that it flows good and looks good on any e-reader, be it on your phone or your Kindle or your computer. So that's a fun fact to know. EPUB is just a website. All right, so I've got all that set up here, and you can see that I make this available as a generic EPUB. A Kindle EPUB uses the generic EPUB, and then also a legacy Mobi file. Mobi is what Kindle used to use. EPUB was first came out with the Apple iPad. They used the EPUB. Kindle was using Mobi, which takes up a lot more space. You can see here, like distributed size is 14.2 megabytes. On the EPUB, it's 11. It used to be a much bigger differential, I gotta say. And so there we go. We got all that stuff going on here. And so now my book is available to distribute here. And as we did before here, I created a landing page for this. So I click here. When you click on the on this, let me go ahead and view this page. Link for readers. There we go. Open a new tab. And so now I'm going to go ahead and distribute this. But in order to get their gift, they have to give me their email address. So a lot of them already have the email address because it's gonna be a requirement for getting this. But if they want to send this link to somebody else, which they can, which I will encourage them to do, then I will add more people on my email list. Which reminds me, I need to go get my customer list from Square and upload the email addresses to my Substack where I manage my mailing list. Substack is actually a pretty good option for doing a mailing list. It's free. Um, You can do like a blog type style thing too with your emails. You kind of make one and then it'll ship it out to all of your customers. You can also host a website there for free, but they don't have an API like my host does that allows me to make changes on the fly with the Podomatic, which is a big, big deal for me. I got to fix this because look at that, I got some leftover graphics down there. All right, anyway, that's there. I can fix that later. And one less look for the shopping cart here. There it is. There's my proof. Ready to go. So I think it was like $3.59 for delivery too. So it's like I'm paying a total of like $9 almost. No, $8, a little over $8. I'm gonna have to edit this. I'll do that. All right. All right. And there we go. Yeah, here's some things I was looking at here in terms of book displays for my little mini books. Um, what I ended up looking at though is I don't know if I actually ordered it or not. Was it here? Yeah, something like this, where I could put them in racks and then you could spin them around. So you have something like this. So, but instead of this side, there's ones that were like 6 inches wide, which is perfect for me. So if the 5 1/4 book will fit in there. Actually, this is I take it back. Those books aren't 5 1/4. What are they? So these are like I'm like 4.5 or something like that. I forget what it is. 4 3/8. So they fit into a 5 inch slot for like a greeting card would fit in, and that works just fine. All right, I think we're all set here. Let's call it a night. Let's see. Tomorrow I'm gonna see if I can be working on the editing for Leap. If I can get that recorded tomorrow afternoon. But I'm gonna be out of town Saturday, so no stream on Saturday. We'll see about Sunday. Sunday I should be able to do, but it's definitely not Saturday. So hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. And if not, I will catch up to you on Sunday. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Keep writing.